After I die, my nemesis Charlie has gone crazy. He put the murderer in a cage under the sea. Then I swallowed a whole bottle of sleeping pills. The only relic he left behind. This is a photo of me secretly taken in the room. After rebirth, I took the initiative to shake Charlie's hand. He smiled bitterly. You wanna play me again? Amy. The same trick. I won't plant it twice. I proved my feelings to him with my actions. Later, Charlie pushed me into the car and kissed me. The SC bag who killed me in my previous life is outside the car in the rain. Scarlet eyes. Amy. Don't you want me anymore? The last memory of the previous life. It's the square cage used to prevent sharks at the bottom of the sea. Seawater flooding mouth and nose. Suffocation of despair. I open my eyes. There's no light in the room. There seems to be someone sitting next to the bed. Memories flood in. I remembered the man who killed me. Kevin. The person in front of me stiffened. Then. Lights on. Charlie picked up the medicine on the table and handed it to me. Antipyretics. Drink and go home. Not gentle at all. He lowered his eyes. Expressionless. Amy. Next time, hug after you recognize the person. Such a cold tone. He wiped the medicine off his fingers. A look of disgust. However. Only I know. This person is indifferent under the disguise. What kind of surging love is hidden? Everything I saw made me realize. I was reborn. A long time later. In the violent heartbeat that has not yet subsided. I grabbed him by the collar. Forced kiss. Charlie and I have been enemies for many years. Dislike each other. You have to fight to the death in everything. However. Such a person who wants me to die. After Kevin killed me. Completely crazy. He's desperate to bring down Kevin's family company. Then. Locked Kevin in the same underwater cage where I drowned. My birthday. Charlie swallowed a whole bottle of sleeping pills. The legacy he left to this world. It was secretly filmed in a room. My photos. Thoughts return. I shook my stiff body. Only then did I discover. Charlie was very stiff. A long time. He held my shoulders. Pull me away. You used this trick years ago. Amy. He pressed his brows. The same trick. I won't plant it twice. I want to explain. But suddenly coughed. The man's expression relaxed. Pat me on the back. I reached over and tested the temperature again. The fever has subsided. Go back. I remembered it later. Today. It seems that I went to buy toothache medicine for Kevin despite a high fever. Burning badly. I was taken home by Charlie who I met on the way. Previous life. After the fever subsided, I secretly took a few ugly photos of Charlie taking a nap beside the bed. He kept calling me an ungrateful wolf. And this life. Same scene. Charlie was playing with an unlit cigarette in his hand. Eyes down. In the silent room. The incoming call ringtone seems a bit abrupt. Kevin. 3 words flashing on the screen. It stimulated my emotions greatly. Hatred welled up in my heart. I suddenly remembered the purpose of Kevin's call. Take a deep breath. Connect. Hello? Amy. A gentle voice came through the receiver. Are you home? I subconsciously glanced at Charlie. In order to prevent Charlie from hearing what follows. I got out of bed in a hurry. I gestured to him to leave. Charlie turns his face away. He waved his hands irritably. A look of impatience. But I noticed. Those eyes. Suddenly it darkened. Previous life. Kevin and I have been dating for 3 years. They are recognized as a model couple in the circle. But he was using me all along. Used me to get close to Charlie. Tricked me into competing with Charlie's family in business. He secretly made a move. He used some shady and dirty tricks to bring down the Charlie family. Charlie's family goes bankrupt. Charlie fell from grace overnight. Charlie's father had a car accident on the way to the company. Died on the spot. Since then, Charlie became a lonely man. He fell into the quagmire. Being in a daze all day. You can't argue with me anymore. I always thought Charlie hated me. But later I was kidnapped by my enemies. Kevin was negotiating terms with someone on the other end of the phone. Charlie went there alone. He saved me from death. Don't be afraid. That night, he carried me on his injured leg. I went down the mountain with 1 foot deep and 1 foot shallow. I finally found out about the dirty things Kevin had done. I broke up with you. and to expose his deeds. However, the gentleman of the past suddenly changed. Kevin in front of me. The dog I had raised for 7 years was hacked to pieces. Then take me to a deserted diving spot. Put me in a shark cage. Let me drown in that cage. Pick up the emotions from the past life. When I rushed home, Kevin has arrived. He is in the courtyard. Bend down. Petting my puppy. The sun surrounds him and his dog. Looks like warmth. But I couldn't help but shiver. Fragments of my past life seemed to reappear before my eyes. The always gentle man held the dog I had raised for 7 years in one hand. The other hand holds a knife. His eyes are red. Ask me loudly. Why should I break up with him for the man I hate the most? Amy. You hate Charlie the most. Isn't it? But now is it in your heart that you want to break up with me for him? Even this beast is more important than me. He became more and more emotional. Then, the knife in his hand chopped down desperately. I have been raising it for 7 years. Always timid. Dogs afraid of pain. At the moment he swung the knife. Trembling. Barking. Blocked in front of me. Blood splattered all over me. Hot. Fishy. Until the moment of dying. It's looking at me. Sobbing anxiously. Seems to be telling me. Owner. Run. I can't protect you anymore. Run. I dare not recall. At the same time. In the courtyard. Kevin turned around and saw me. In the sun. He pushed the gold-rimmed glasses on his nose. Warm smile. Amy. Where have you been? The sun is shining. I suddenly felt a chill on my back. Went to a friend's house. Kevin looked at me for 2 seconds. But I didn't continue the topic. Amy. He walked up to me. Ask. Do you want to bring down the Charlie family? Same problem as before. How fast is your heart rate? I pretend to be calm. I gave the same answer as before. Think. He laughs. Tuck my hair behind my ears. I can get the leverage on Charlie's family. But I also need some internal documents of Charlie's family. He tilted his head to look at me. Please help me. Okay. When Charlie's family falls, I took over the family business. Then marry you. Okay. I met his gaze. I hate Charlie the most. In front of Kevin. I called Charlie. Invite him to dinner. Have a meal. Charlie obviously didn't believe it. What do you want to do? Rest assured. I lie at will. Going abroad. After fighting for so many years. Have a farewell dinner with you. Charlie was silent for a moment. Address. 7 p.m. I arrived at the restaurant on time. But he found that Charlie, who had no sense of time, had already arrived. He has a straight face. The fingers on the table tapped lightly. This is what he does when he's upset. Going abroad. Yes, I watched him from across the table. Actually, Charlie has a better face than Kevin. He was wearing black casual clothes. Sit there quietly. The back is straight. Inexplicably like a tree. Silence. Vigorous. Always on the lookout. When to go? In a few days. His hand holding the menu froze. Charlie ordered a lot of dishes. All my taste. He told the waiter. Don't put ginger in your dishes. I hate ginger the most. After the waiter left, Charlie laughed. Good. Go abroad and cause trouble to those blue-eyed foreigners. So as to avoid annoying me by staying in Beijing. I rested my chin and looked at him. Asking despite knowing the answer. You are annoying me. Nonsense. Charlie raised an eyebrow. Can't tell. It can be said. When I shrank back because of the cold air in the restaurant, Charlie immediately threw his coat over. Hot, you wear it. I put his coat on my shoulders. Smell familiar. Light cedar scent. After dinner, Charlie took me home. Silence all the way. The atmosphere was so quiet that it was a bit depressing. When waiting at a red light, he always looks ahead. The hands on the steering wheel tightened and tightened. He finally spoke. Morning. Pause. He seemed to be asking a difficult question. You kissed me. Why? He gently held the steering wheel, quietly waiting for my answer. Seeing that I didn't respond for a long time, Charlie coughed. Then he immediately said, Don't think too much. I have mysophobia. Go home and wash your mouth. Yeah. 30 seconds left on red light. I leaned over. Pinch his face. I looked closely at his lips. Looks quite rosy. Amy. The Adam's apple rolled quietly. He pushed me away. In a panic, I even honked the horn accidentally. The moment the car starts. He gritted his teeth and said, Amy. You definitely took the wrong medicine today. There is a business dinner tonight. I know. Halfway through the banquet. Someone will sneak into the banquet hall disguised as a waiter. Knife wounding. Previous life. I protected Kevin in a critical moment. The switch is turned off. The banquet hall was dark. The man stabbed me with a knife. Charlie was the one who got hurt. Afterwards, he gritted his teeth and cursed. Who pushed me out? I just think he's an unlucky guy. He blocked the knife for me. Now come back. I wanted to push Kevin out to block the knife. There is darkness in front of me. No one pushed. In the dark. I saw Charlie standing in front of me. The knife scratched Charlie's arm. The wound is not deep. In the dark. Charlie covered his arm with one hand. Look up at me. Such sharp eyebrows. But the bottom of my eyes is full of grievance. I was afraid I wouldn't see his injuries. He also raised his arms. Like a wronged puppy. I really feel sad. However, I can only pretend I didn't see it. Lightly turned away his gaze. Lights on. Someone exclaimed and came forward to check Charlie's injuries. He picked up a tissue and wiped the blood casually. Cover the injured hand behind your back. The tone is very light. Fine. Skin traw. Then he pretended to be angry and gritted his teeth. Who pushed me out just now? Recently. I have been secretly investigating Kevin's criminal evidence. Before death in previous life. I learned a lot of secrets about Kevin. He has a murder case on his hands. It's just that the incident happened too long ago. The investigation was not going smoothly. Before that, I have to take down Kevin's family business first. Or I want to take over Kevin's family. It's Charlie's birthday. He never likes to hold birthday parties. I know Charlie hates birthdays. Because Charlie's mother died during his birth. Charlie's birthday. It's also his mother's death anniversary. I went to Charlie's family with gifts I prepared in advance. Charlie's family has always been quiet. There is only one nanny. I went up to the second floor. Knock on the door. No one answered. Knocked 3 times in succession. When I suspected that no one was in the house, Charlie's voice came softly. Enter. Push the door. Moment. The strong smell of alcohol. Jane. He pressed his brows. Mute channel. Stop sending food. I stood at the door and watched him. My heart aches. No response. He looked up. Amy. He always calls me by my first name. Stunned for 2 seconds. He threw the empty bottle into the trash can. Then stand up. Opened the window. Fresh air rushes in. Blow away the smell of alcohol. I heard him ask. Something. Yes, I have. I walked forward. Take out the prepared. The exquisitely packaged small gift box was stuffed into his hands. Birthday gift. I don't wish him a happy birthday. But I hope he could not be trapped in this day forever. Charlie stared at the gift box in my palm. No movement. During these years of being at odds with Charlie, I've tortured him a lot. Without knowing the story behind his birthday. I give him a gag gift almost every year. Charlie is fooled every time. Next time, choose to believe me. Accept the gift. When I thought Charlie would refuse, he took it. Slowly unpack. It's a handmade keychain. Every tiny diamond above. I glued them on by hand. Previous life. Charlie sorted out his belongings before committing suicide. Just a small box. It contained the jade bracelet his mother left him before she died. The only photo of me and Charlie. Besides, the hair rope I lost many years ago. And I don't know when I lost it. A worthless keychain. Charlie holds the keychain. Looked at it for a while. Really ugly. Let's talk. This person's mouth corners can't stop rising. Fingers folded. Hold the keychain in your palm. Even when I was drinking, I never put it down. I was drinking on the sofa with Charlie. No vegetables. Dry drink. But honestly speaking, Charlie's face is indeed a good dish to go with wine. A very light smell of alcohol mixed with the scent of cedar on his body. Clear. But it's easy to get drunk. I soon felt dizzy. Charlie. I pulled his sleeves. The words stuck in my throat for a while. I just asked. Are you like me? Charlie choked on the wine. Coughed suddenly. Cough. How is it possible? He does not admit. But he wouldn't even look at me. Alcohol NBS the nerves little by little. I'm brave. Fold his face with your hands. Make him look at me. You said you don't like me. Why don't you look at me? In the few seconds of staring at each other, Charlie's eyes flashed with so many emotions. Stunned. Panic. Confuse. At last. Disappeared again. He sighed. Pull my hand away. Amy. What do you want this time? Those eyes are clear. The light in my eyes is shattered. I suddenly remembered. A few years ago, I competed with Charlie for business. I used honey trap on him when I was drunk. Charlie usually looks abstinent. That time, I was powerless. But he just got on top. I'll just leave here. And also took away a big business from him. Thoughts return. I heard him sigh. Tell me what you want. I'll give you. Stop playing with me. Amy. A soft heart. Want you. Charlie obviously didn't believe it. He pushed my hand away. Get up. With your back to me, looking out the window. Let's go. When to go abroad? He paused. The voice is a bit hoarse. I send you. I didn't say anything. When he put his hands together to light a cigarette, I took away the cigarettes and lighter. Then, in Charlie's inquiring eyes, I climbed onto his shoulders, closed my eyes and kissed. I thought I was the active one, but still so nervous that I am at a loss. Just rub your lips against his. CLSY and awkward movements. When I can't hold on any longer, Charlie bends down. Press me into your arms. Deepen the kiss. The surging emotions that have been suppressed for many years. The alcohol spreads between the intertwined breaths. I was almost limp from his kiss. My hands subconsciously climbed onto his shoulders. Fingers on his collar. Pull out a tiny wrinkle. Amy. He touches my nose. Ask me softly. Can I trust you? Abel. I'm so soft inside. Charlie is always willful. Indulgent. I've been fighting with him for so many years. No matter what happens. He always looks like he has a sure win. Only now. I don't know how to prove it. I kissed him again. Charlie stood up. He took a step back. Smile. Can't kiss anymore. My voice became a little hoarse for no reason. Kiss again. I can't help it. Charlie went to the bathroom. Said to calm down. I leaned against the window waiting for him. But my mind is full of the scene just now. My face is a little hot. Suddenly. The phone is ringing. 3 words flashing on the screen. Drag my thoughts back to reality. Kevin. I took a deep breath. Connect. Amy. Come over. I found evidence against Charlie's family. Good. I thought back. Previous life. Charlie's family company did run into problems a few days after his birthday. Kevin didn't lie. Soon. Charlie comes out of the toilet. He lit a cigarette. Stand at the door and watch me. Charlie. I found an excuse cruelly. Money is lost. I'll go home first. The rising smoke blurred his eyebrows and eyes. I'm with you. No. I walked forward. Money is fun. Always love to run out. You know. I'll be back soon. Okay. Charlie didn't answer. 2 words of comfort. I'm worried that something might happen to Kevin. Want to go first. My wrist was suddenly grabbed by him. Amy. He whispered to me. Slow. Mute. Don't go. Is it okay? Silence. The phone vibrates. It's a message from Kevin. Baby. Tomorrow's anniversary. I brought down Charlie's family as a gift to you. Turn off the phone. I took Charlie's hand and shook it. Coax him softly. I'll be back soon. Okay. He didn't respond. I left in a hurry. And behind me is always the terrifying silence. Kevin's house. When opening the door. Strong alcohol smell. He also drank. Kevin took my hand and walked in. Laughing. Walk. Show you. Talking. He took me to the living room. Showed me the documents on the table. Charlie's family confidential files. The hot breath from his drink was in my ears. He laughs. Don't you always hate Charlie? The file is here. But Amy. You know. I'm not in a position to show up. Want to bring down Charlie's family. I need you to help me. Okay. I look down at the document in my hand. Leave it to me. After so many years of fighting, Charlie's family is finally going to fall. I smiled. Very good. Kevin took the folder from my hand. He came over to kiss me. With a strong smell of alcohol. Amy. I put my hands on his chest. All smell of wine. Go brush your teeth. Good. He looked at me quietly. Asked tentatively. I'll take a bath. Kevin has a pair of warm eyes. Dogs seem affectionate. Previous life. I'm stuck in these eyes. Until death. Only then did I see the hateful face beneath his hypocritical mask. Amy. Thoughts return. I bow my head. Hiding the disgust in my eyes. Then I'll wait for you. He looked pleased. Good. I watched Kevin walk into the bathroom. Then. The sound of water. He quickly turned on the computer on his desk. As far as I know, Kevin has a lot of private files of their company in his computer. He never lets anyone touch his computer. Power on password. I tried to recall. Previous life. The day of death. I saw him use the computer. 051963. I tried to type. Password is correct. I took out the USB drive. Copy files on the fly. Fortunately, the sound of water in the bathroom never stops. Because of nervousness. My hand holding the mouse is shaking. Suddenly, the sound of water stopped. My heart trembled. Keep your eyes on the progress bar. 90. 92. Finally. Copy completed. I quickly unplugged the USB drive. Shut down. However, it's too late. The computer is not turned off. I heard the door open. Crucial moment. I bent down and pressed the switch of the socket where the computer was located. Computer screen goes black instantly. Amy. Kevin's voice came from the bathroom. What are you doing? Footsteps approaching. I slowly stood up. Then. Kevin holds my wrist. What's in your hand? He glanced at my folded fingers. Ask in a gentle voice. See me silent. Kevin slowly opened my hand. In the palm of my hand are two thinly packaged couple items. I bite my lip. Ask what I saw on the ground. Kevin. Why do you have this in your room? You used it with other women. Is it right? I just found this in the gap next to the power strip. Previous life. I didn't know until I died. 3 years of love. He said he respected me and didn't touch me. But secretly he has been looking for women to meet his physical needs. And now. Kevin was stunned for 2 seconds. Amy. Listen to my explanation. Snap. I slapped him hard. Kevin's expression turned cold. Recovered quickly. He came over and hugged me. I prepared it for us. Amy. I am a man too. There are also some physical desires. If you still mind. He lowered his eyes. Speak gently. Then I apologize to you. After. I will restrain myself. He came to shake my hand. I put the thing in my pocket. Avoided his touch. Kevin. I lower my eyes. I'm not ready yet. Fine. He held me in his arms. Gentle tone on the head. I can wait. Wait until the day you want. Vomit. I feel sick. The image of him admitting to cheating in his past life came to my mind. Amy. What's so noble about you? Saying love to me. What respect are you talking about? I am a man too. Girlfriend doesn't give. I'm going out to take care of my physiological needs, okay? The hypocritical face in my memory overlaps with the man who said respect in front of me. It makes me feel nauseous. When leaving Kevin's family, I walk briskly. Finally. No need to pretend to be nice to this man anymore. It's not the Charlie family that's going to fall this time. Kevin's family. I pushed open the half-open door. The room is dark. Charlie is standing at the window. Cover your hands. His back is hidden in the darkness. Only a slanting sun shines in from the window. There are many more empty bottles on the ground. Charlie. I called him softly. I don't know why. Charlie. Always makes people feel inexplicably sad. Charlie didn't turn around. I walked forward. Take his hand. Angry. Amy. He used to call me by my first name. Actually, you don't need to do this. I was stunned. Which? Charlie looked out the window. From my perspective, I could only see his profile hidden in the dim light. He laughed at himself. I can't show you much. What you want? Just tell me directly. He slowly pushed my hand away. My fingers are cold. You don't have to do this. Pause. He said. You just go find Kevin? He knew it all. I suddenly remembered when I left. He held my wrist. Whisper me not to leave. My heart softens. This person should think I gave him a birthday present. Get close to him. It's all because of Kevin. In the dark. Lighter sound. Charlie lit a cigarette. He laughs. Actually, I lied before. Amy. I know you approached me with a purpose. I planted it a second time. My heart is so soft. I suddenly remembered that year. To compete with Charlie for business. After the drinking party, I dragged him to the hotel. Unlit room. Heat. Turbid. And with the smell of alcohol between each other's breath. I pulled his tie. Pulled him to the bed. Pushed down. The whole person sat on him. Finger hook bow tie. Wrap it tightly in circles. Charlie. I leaned over to look at him. Soften your tone. Give me this business. Okay. The man didn't answer. I grit my teeth. Pulling his tie and pretending to kiss him. In sight. The Adam's apple rolls quietly. He turned his face away in time. Good. For you. He sighed. Amy. I not finished talking. I quickly got out of bed. Pull him up. Force him to call and give up the deal. Hand the phone to him. I winked at him. You promised. Charlie made the call. After hanging up the phone. What else does he want to say? But I'm already busy with this business. When I was young. Want to compete with Charlie in everything. At that time, I thought Charlie's silence was because he lost a small business deal. But now think back. At first I used emotions to tease. Goal achieved. I pulled away. He was left with nowhere to hide his friendship and ended up in a mess. Thoughts return. I sighed. Take his hand. What was stuffed into his palm? I just went to Kevin's house. It's for this. Charlie glanced at. Fixed gaze. Half a while. He whispered. Are you sure? Sure. I held his hand. This USB drive contains Kevin's family's. Halfway through the conversation. I froze. Charlie placed too thinly wrapped. That. Just too urgent. I took the wrong. I found this at Kevin's house. To avoid Kevin's hand. I put it in my pocket. The atmosphere was awkward. Charlie said in a low voice. You just went to Kevin's house. Nothing happened. I raised my hand. I promise. I went to his house for this. I took out the real USB drive and put it in his hand. I copied it from his computer. There are confidential files of Kevin's family inside. Besides, Kevin got this from somewhere else. He wants to use me to bring down the Charlie family. I handed the folder I took from Kevin to Charlie. He took. Looking down and reading. A long time. Charlie, look at me. Reason. Why choose to help me? He looked away. You are not. Have you always liked Kevin? I really don't know how to answer this question. Previous life. Before I found out Kevin's true face. I really liked him. Kevin Ching show. Mild. Different from Charlie. Arguing with me every day. Compete with me in everything. Every time I get into trouble with Charlie. Kevin would comfort me softly. He has a gentle temperament. Be courteous and gentlemanly to everyone. Great emotional value. I thought that was love. I also tried my best to be good to him. Until. Before he died, he discovered his false mask. I thought about it. Hold Charlie's hand seriously. Look up at him. In the past, I was young. Not knowing people well. But Charlie. I just want to be with you now. I didn't approach you with any purpose this time. I just. Just what? I myself can't explain it. Charlie looked down at me. Until the smoke almost burned my hand. He put out the cigarette. Next moment. I was pressed into his arms. A sigh sounded overhead. I believe. When I was collecting evidence of Kevin's crimes in private. Suddenly I received a call from him. Amy. There's some noise over there. Why hasn't it arrived yet? Today is my birthday. You won't forget it, will you? I turned off the computer. Smile. How come? On the other end of the phone. Faintly, the sound of other people laughing could be heard. I said. Amy is a famous good girlfriend. How could I not come? Let's make a bet. What gift will Miss Amy give this time? Someone laughed quietly. Let me guess. I must be giving myself to Kevin. Low laughter sounded around. Kevin then slowly spoke. Stop it. Amy. In the receiver. He laughs gently. Then I'll wait for you. Good. 1 hour later. I stood outside the door. There was a voice coming out from the crack of the door. It's been an hour. Amy won't come, will she? Won't. Kevin's voice sounded. With a bit of determination. She dare not. I sneered. Push the door in. Amy. Kevin stood up. Smiling and coming towards me. His eyes fell on my empty hands. Kevin's smile froze. Someone asked for him. Kevin's birthday. What gift did you give? Take it out and let everyone see it. I spread my hands. Not prepared. Everyone was a little surprised. Kevin held my hand at the right time. I don't lack anything. Amy is my best birthday present. I pulled my hand out in public. Pull up a tissue. Carefully wiping the hand Kevin had held. The atmosphere was a bit awkward. Someone deliberately adjusted the atmosphere. He coughed and said, Kevin. Don't let your brothers see you two showing off your affection. Come. Drink wine. Kevin nodded and said yes. Then he put a bottle of wine in my hand. Patted my shoulder again. Coaxing softly. Pour the wine for everyone. I took the wine. Open. Then. In front of everyone. A whole bottle of wine. All poured on Kevin. The strong smell of alcohol filled the room. There were screams all around my ears. Everyone looked at this scene in shock. A bottle of wine poured over Kevin from head to toe. Terribly embarrassed. He rubbed his eyes with the back of his hand. Amy. You are crazy. I shrugged. No. Now that you are here. Just to let you know. Kevin. We broke up. The wine dripped down his hair. Kevin lowered his eyes. Why? I'm too lazy to care about him anymore. Turn around and want to leave. My wrist was suddenly grabbed. He tightened up. Cold breath. Amy. You've changed your mind. Letting go. I reached out and pushed him. But it doesn't move. The wrist bone was almost crushed. Pain. Suddenly. The door of the private room is opened. Someone broke in. Punched Kevin hard in the face. Protect me behind. It's Charlie. Kevin got up from the ground. Full of embarrassment. I touched the bruised corner of my mouth with the back of my hand. He turned his attention to Charlie. You break up with me. Just for him. Yes. In the shocked eyes of the crowd. I took the initiative to shake Charlie's hand. Let me introduce you. This is my boyfriend. Charlie. The room was completely silent. It's all in one circle. Everyone knows that Charlie and I have been enemies for many years. You have to fight to the death in everything. Someone laughed and said. You and Charlie were kidding, right? The room was a mess. Wine stains all over the floor. I glanced away coldly. Do you think I'm kidding? The man fell silent instantly. Kevin didn't say a word from beginning to end. He stood there quietly looking at us. Sinister eyes. And in his previous life when he killed money. Same. Kevin's family has been going through a turbulent time recently. Leakage of company secrets. Lost several important customers in a row. Senior directors rebel. Share prices PL meted overnight. Heard. Kevin drank so much last night that he had stomach bleeding. Sent to the hospital and spent the whole night. When saying this news, Charlie glanced at me subconsciously. And I was busy buying up Kevin's family's shares at a low price. Not enough. I picked up the money at my feet. I smoothed its fur with my hands. Kevin's retribution is still to come. The next day. Heavy rain. Charlie drove me home. The car is parked downstairs. He leaned over and unbuckled my seatbelt. Too close. I grabbed his collar unconsciously. Charlie. I can't help but look down. From my perspective. I can just see into his collar. Move your gaze down along your collarbone. Strong chest muscles. The outline of the abdominal muscles can still be vaguely seen. I couldn't help swallowing. Look up again. Then I realized Charlie was watching me. There seems to be fire burning in my eyes. Heavy rain outside the car. Inside the car. Charlie put his hands behind my head. Kiss me till my legs go limp. Lightning flashes across the night sky. I saw someone standing outside the car. It was Kevin. He stood in the rain with a pale face. But the eyes are red. Amy. Don't you want me anymore? The charming atmosphere was instantly broken. I just feel bad. When I want Charlie to drive me away. Suddenly I heard Kevin's next words. Amy. I remembered it all last night in the hospital. You hate me for leaving you at the bottom of the sea. Is it right? The word under the sea instantly pricked a nerve. Today. I can still remember being at the bottom of the ocean. The slowly suffocating feeling of despair. Kevin. Reborn. I don't want to involve Charlie in the so-called rebirth. I turned to look at Charlie. I'll go down and have a chat with him. Good. Charlie handed me the umbrella. I'm waiting for you in the car. I got off the car. Stopped 2 steps away from Kevin. It's still that person. But his eyes and tone have changed. Now standing in front of me. It was Kevin who killed me. He looked at me quietly. Amy. You're with Charlie to get back at me. Is it right? Amy. His voice was choked up. I regret it. Real. I was just impulsive at the time. Why? Don't you hate Charlie the most? Why should I break up with him or even report him? Because he saved you? His hands were shaking badly. But after you die. I just found out I was wrong. Amy. I still love you. It's really hard to live without you, you know? Finally, I was locked in that underwater cage by Charlie. I wasn't scared when I was dying. I'm thinking. Is this how I die with you? I can go with you. I'll take another step back. Keep your distance from him. Abnormal. I don't want to fight with him anymore. Turn around and get in the car. However. He held the door that had just been opened. Amy. He slowly took out a sachet from his arms. Red eyes. Do you remember? This is the sachet you gave me. You embroidered it stitch by stitch. He choked up several times. You once said. I hope it can protect me from harm. The amulet inside is what you prayed for by bowing every 3 steps in the temple. His voice trembled. Eager to prove. Amy. You love me. Is it right? Of course not, love. I took the treasure bag from his palm. Throw it on the ground. Silt-soaked sachet. He hurried to pick it up. But it's too late. I stepped on the sachet. Roll over hard. Kevin. Why do you think you have experienced everything in your past life? I will still love you. My only wish now is. I hope you don't die too easily. People like you. Should be tortured. Go to the 18th level of hell. Kevin's family is completely bankrupt. Later acquired at a low price. Now. Changed last name. Charlie has been investigating Kevin's criminal evidence. The murder case that year. Now there is new progress. It's hard to have some free time. I made a dinner date with Charlie. Charlie doesn't eat spicy food. But he still accompanied me to eat Chongqing hot pot. The rising heat blurred his eyebrows and eyes. I looked at him with my chin on my hand. Charlie. Since when did you fall in love with me? This guy has a cold face. Dislike. Say one thing and mean another. The tripe is ready. He put it on my plate. Eat it. But I won't give in. Don't force him to ask. Since you like me. Why did you always go against me in the past? Charlie kept picking up the food. I was too young. I don't know how to like someone. Just trying to get her attention. Talking room. The plate is almost piled up into a small mountain. I took a bite of a shrimp. Didn't you say you don't like me? Have a meal. I don't tease him anymore. When eating with head down. Charlie poured me another glass of juice. Hand it over. The sound is very light. From the first time I confronted you. What? I was stunned for 2 seconds. Then react. He was answering my original question. When did you fall in love with me? From the first time I confronted you. I got another call from Kevin. After blacklisting his phone. He then changed different phone numbers to call. Amy. He chuckled. Kevin's family is now yours. Are you happy? As long as you are happy. I'll give you everything. Amy. He sighed softly. Can you come and see me? I'm in the hospital. The doctor said I had a tumor in my stomach. I don't know whether it is benign or malignant. After the pause. He used his old trick again. Amy. You don't come. I won't eat. I even laughed at him. Then you'll starve to death. Kevin. You don't think I'll still feel sorry for you and won't go on a hunger strike, right? I hate you dying more than anyone else. Kevin started to make trouble. Previous life. My love made him forget to look in the mirror. He was sure I loved him terribly. Even if he puts me in a cage under the sea. Even though the dog I had raised for 7 years was brutally killed by him. I still love him. I just still hate him. So. He started to torture himself. Just to force me to see him. Kevin's family's nanny also called me. Ms. Amy. Come and see Mr. Kevin. He hasn't eaten much for 3 days. The gentleman said he was atonement. But how can the body withstand such exhaustion? I interrupted the other person. Then you tell him. Come on. If you starve for a few more days, you will die. This saves us the trouble of finding evidence. The murder case many years ago finally came to a conclusion. We will hand over the evidence we collected to the police. This criminal case, which has not been closed for many years. Finally, it came to an end. Kevin is arrested. Heard. He said nothing in the interrogation room. I want to see Amy. Otherwise. I won't say anything. The stalemate lasted all night. I was called to the police station. Charlie accompanied me. In the interrogation room. Kevin looks embarrassed. Looking dazed. Because of recent weight loss. Slightly sunken cheeks. Look up and see it's me. Kevin stood up suddenly. Amy. His voice is hoarse. Are you still willing to come see me? In fact, you still. Stop fooling yourself. I interrupted him. I'll come. First, I want to quickly bring this murder case that happened many years ago to a close. Rest in peace to the deceased. Secondly, I can't wait to see your retribution. Kevin. 2 lives. Why do you still love to play these sentimental scenes? I begged you in my previous life. When kidnapped. I cried and begged you to save me. But you were busy bargaining with the kidnappers. When you kill money. I begged you. It's just a dog. No threat to you. But you still vent all your anger on it. Before you sink me to the bottom of the sea. I begged you too. Kevin stared at me. Pale face. Why do you say you regret after I die? Kevin. You also died at the bottom of the sea. You should know how painful it is before death. Trapped in that square iron cage. The seabed is dark and endless. Nothing can be done. I can only feel the oxygen running out little by little. Waiting for death in the cold and lonely seabed. Bring up that memory. Despair and suffocation almost drowned me again. I barely suppressed my emotions. Look at him coldly. Kevin. You deserve what you have today. He didn't speak. When I was about to leave. He asked me in a trembling voice. Amy. You will always hate me. Right. I smiled. Of course not. Kevin. I will wait and see your retribution. Then forget you. The beginning of a new life for me and Charlie. Why should I remember you? He turned pale. Lip trembling. But he didn't say a word. I turned and left. Outside the interrogation room. Charlie was waiting for me at the door. Didn't ask me what I talked to Kevin about. Just handed me a bottle of water with the cap unscrewed. What do you want to eat in the evening? I took his arm. Think about it. Hot pot. Steam room. I always feel like I am welcoming a new life. Kevin was sentenced to death. Heard. He had a miserable time in prison. His roommate saw that he was thin. All bullied him. And Kevin also has a handsome face. This is dangerous in prison. I haven't listened carefully. I just know that he had a miserable time in prison. Losing weight day by day. Before the death penalty was even handed down, he was already half dead. But what does that have to do with me? I only care about 2 things. How is the company developing? How is Charlie and I going? Can't sleep at night. I sent a message to Charlie. Have you slept yet? The man fell asleep almost immediately. I'm leaning on the bed typing and wanting to eat hot pot. There was no movement from the other side for a long time. I can't hold my breath anymore. When I was about to call Charlie. The phone vibrates again. Charlie, come and eat. I posted another picture. The hot pot is just boiling. I immediately went out in my slippers. Last month. Charlie bought the house opposite my house and became my new neighbor. I opened the combination lock skillfully. I saw the man at the table. Damn. Who made him dress like this? Charlie only wore a wide-shouldered vest on the upper body and black home pants on the lower body. A black apron tied around the waist. Apron string ties at waist for a defined silhouette. From the back, this person has a standard inverted triangle body, with broad shoulders and narrow waist. Hot pot suddenly lost its appeal. I swallowed dryly. Then I saw Charlie turn around and look at me. Overhead lighting is warm yellow. Softened his eyebrows a bit. Go wash your hands. I said, oh. My steps involuntarily moved towards him. Charlie. Under the lights. All I could see was the tight, smooth outline of his arms. Turn off the fire. Charlie was stunned. Although I don't understand. But still do it. I lick my lips. I was a little nervous when I held his hand. Come in, I'll tell you something. Charlie didn't understand why and went into the bedroom with me. Bed talk. I dragged him to the bedside and looked at his apron. Apron is too dirty. Talking. I took the initiative to go over to him and put my hands around his side to untie the rope behind him. However, maybe because I was too nervous, I couldn't untie it, so I tied it tighter. Charlie's heartbeat is strong in my ears. But it is also quietly accelerating. After several attempts, Charlie finally couldn't help himself. Grab my wrist. I'll do it myself. He untied it in 2 or 3 steps. Take off your apron. Tell me what's going on. The vest material is too thin to cover the outline of the abdominal muscles. I blushed so much that I suddenly felt a little scared. It's okay to hesitate for a long time and still not be able to explain it. Charlie chuckled. Press me into your arms. But I have something to do now. I was so nervous that I almost bit my tongue. What happened? Charlie didn't answer me. Pinch your chin with your fingertips. Gently rubbed. The kiss came without warning. No longer just a taste of the past. Strong and powerful possession. I can hardly stand. The breath is full of Charlie's breath. I subconsciously grabbed the corner of his clothes. Charlie. I raised my face and put my hands around his neck. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Fortunately, it's you. Suddenly, the scene from that year came to my mind. On a moonless night, he dragged his injured leg. Carry me down the mountain. 1 foot deep, 1 foot shallow, stepping on gravel. Don't be afraid. I am here. His voice was low, but it drowned out the sound of insects and wind. I'm really not afraid anymore. And now. In a room with only a night light on. He put his hands over my eyes. Low tone. Don't be afraid. I'll be gentle.